Hi, I'm Amy Claver, and I'm excited to be with you today to learn how to make challah. I've been making challah for about 14 years, since my then 2-year-old was in preschool and came home with a Shabbat box. Making challah for Shabbat with my children became a fun and enjoyable activity and another way to experience the beauty of our faith. The egg-laced bread that we call challah is from southern Germany from the Middle Ages. Challah means portion, which comes from the ritual of separating a portion of the dough while making it and saying a blessing. It is reminiscent of the sacrificial offerings in ancient times. There are 7 simple ingredients in making challah: eggs, flour, water, sugar, yeast, oil, and salt. Hello, Sophia and Pedro. Thank you for joining me to make challah today. Are you ready?
Yep.
Sounds good. Okay, what we're going to do is mix the ingredients together to make our dough. In this bowl, we'll want to add 3 packages of dry yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then a half a cup of water. The sugar will activate the yeast. We'll let it stand for about 10 minutes until it gets a little bubbly and we know that it's working. That's perfect. All right, then we'll move to this side where we'll add, in this bowl, 3 cups of bread flour. To this bowl, we'll also add 1½ teaspoons of salt, and we'll stir that around. So we're just incorporating the salt into the flour. And once that's done, we'll make a little well, and to that, we'll add the rest of our ingredients. We'll need a half a cup of sugar. Add to that 2 eggs in a cup of warm water, then 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Get those eggs broken up a little bit into that oil and water. It just helps to incorporate it a little bit. And just go ahead and pour it right on top. And we just have one more ingredient left, and that is what we have let stand here. And we will add this to our flour mixture. First, we're going to incorporate the liquid into the 3 cups of flour that we already have in the bowl. Then, we will incorporate more flour until we have a nice soft dough. And that's approximately 3 more cups of flour. But we'll add it gradually as we see our dough beginning to form. And now, would you like to help knead the dough?
Sure.
Get it more incorporated? Okay, so what we do is just take a little bit of the dough, press it down, and pull it back. Press it down and pull it back. Your hands are gonna get a little sticky. As they get sticky, we'll add a little bit more flour. But we wanna add the flour gradually at this time. Push away from you and bring it back. Away and bring it back. Now we start to see a nice soft dough. That's good. Does it feel nice and soft?
Yeah.
You want to knead it for approximately 5 to 8 minutes. And then once you have a nice shaped, soft ball of dough like this that sticks together in one round mound, we will put it in a lightly oiled bowl and let it sit for 1 hour. Now, after an hour, our dough is ready to be shaped. So what we'll do is make some room on our table. We'll coat it with flour so it doesn't get too sticky, and we will divide the dough. And then we can do a variety of different shapes. So what we'll do is take one of your balls of dough, and then we'll roll it out into a long strand or a rope. You might want to go toward the center and roll it out. During different times of the year, challah can take a variety of shapes. Sometimes it's braided into a long loaf. Sometimes the braids are made into round challahs. We usually have round challah at the holiday called Rosh Hashanah. There are lots of different ways to make braids. One of the ones that I like the best is a 4-braid challah. That is where you pinch it at one area at the top, and then you just do a basket weave where you go over and under each of the strands. You always start from the left strand, and then you do the same pattern over and under until it goes on the right. And that makes a very pretty braid. If you wanted to do a wreath where there's a hole in the middle, you could just pull it around, but then you could just put a potato in the center when you bake it, and that will make a wreath. And then you take the potato out when it's all finished cooking. Some other shapes you could do. It's a little swirl that you can do to make a round challah. And then something that's very pretty is if you take one of your strands and you just make it into a knot, that becomes your center. If I just braided this with a 3-strand, I can wrap it around that little knot, and I also have a lovely round challah. Once you have your challah shaped, you let it sit on a parchment-lined baking sheet for 1 hour. And we will put a little egg wash on top, which is just a little bit of egg beaten with a bit of water. Get your little paintbrush and you dip it inside there, paint it on top of the dough. We want to coat all of the areas that we can, because that's the glaze that will help make our challah turn brown and be nice and golden. Oftentimes we put sesame seeds on top or poppy seeds on top, and that gives it a little bit more decoration, doesn't it? Then what we do after it's ready to go into the oven, we just cover it very lightly because it's got to rest again. And after an hour, it'll be ready, it'll be a little bit more full, and we'll put it into the oven and bake it for 30 minutes. So now that our challah has come out of the oven, it's cooled down to room temperature, we're able to enjoy it. All right, that looks pretty good. What do you think? Did you do a good job? It's pretty good. Shabbat Shalom.